This is a Check This Out exclusive.
Of the 7.2 billion people on Earth, 3 billion have internet access. 2.1 billion are using social media right now.
Check This Out News, coming to you live. Oakland, California has generated national attention in recent years. Donald Trump criticized the mayor, calling her a disgrace. The two later had a war of words, and Trump has gone so far as to have Attorney General investigate her for obstruction of justice for her stance on immigration. She is one tough lady, a fighter for the community of Oakland, California. Allow me to introduce you to Mayor Libby Schaaf. Thank you for being on our show. Are you there?
Hello, this is Libby.
Mayor Schaaf, or should I refer to you as Libby? How do you prefer to be addressed, I should ask?
Libby is fine.
Libby, wow.
Whatever,
Libby.
whatever you feel like.
We're going to open it up with Mayor Schaaf. Mayor Libby Schaaf, you're a trailblazer and an individual that has certainly caught the attention of probably the country, and I could even go so far as to say is the world. So I know you're on a tight schedule. I thank you so much for joining us on our show. I'll dive right in. Now, Mayor Schaaf, you stood up to Donald Trump's policy on immigration, only to later hear the president actually call you out by name. Why did you go against the president's policy?
Because it's racist.
Shots fired!
Just about everything that is coming out of this administration has white supremacist, racist overtones. But also, I am born and raised in Oakland. I have grown up being so proud of coming from one of the most diverse, inclusive cities in America. And so that decision to protect my people in my community is not so much political philosophy as opposed to lived experience. I don't care where you came from or how you got here. If you are a wonderful member of my community, you deserve to be protected.
Recently, the Trump administration spoken on the fact that the unemployment rate for African Americans is at an all-time low. In fact, his administration states more African Americans are employed than ever before. How does this reflect, in your opinion, in the city of Oakland?
Listen, you can twist statistics all day long. The fact is there has always been a shameful disparity in the employment rate between whites and blacks. In Oakland, we've taken that down. Before I became mayor, African Americans were 5 times more likely to be unemployed than whites. It's still roughly double, so while it's gotten much better, it's still unacceptable. But it's important to look beyond the employment statistics. When you look at income and poverty rates, wages earned, there are even greater disparities. What type of jobs are these? And are these the types of jobs and employment opportunities that go away the second that we go back into the recession? And so, in Oakland, we don't apologize for really focusing, for example, our workforce training resources on groups that are hit hardest by employment trends. 83% of our participants in workforce training programs in Oakland are African Americans. We are trying to close that disparity gap.
The state of California has some serious issues, including cost of living, gentrification, and homelessness. Now, the rise in homelessness, most of whom are African Americans now living in tents. How do you think California got to this place, and what are you doing to try to fix this?
I could talk about this for like 5 hours with you, but let me just hit 3 things quickly. First off, housing. In the Bay Area, and particularly with, the booming Silicone Valley economy, we have been adding jobs, but we have not been building housing for the new workers who are moving here. We've literally added 8 jobs for every 1 unit of housing built in this region. The second problem is NIMBYism. People not wanting to add housing, but being happy to add corporate headquarters. And people being unwilling to really step up to our responsibility to build subsidized, affordable housing. And that's what we are really focused on here in Oakland. And it's hard in California since the state eliminated redevelopment, which was our major funding source. And then finally, in addition to really addressing the affordable housing crisis in California, we have to, and I'm getting back to your last question, address the income issues. We have got to help the groups, and that includes African Americans, who, you are correct, are disproportionately within our homelessness population, get the skills to take advantage of the new higher wage jobs in this economy. And so I am super passionate about education. In Oakland, we've launched something called the Oakland Promise, and it's a long-term bet. We are doing everything from, helping high school students get into college, understand all of the financial aid that's available, giving them flexible scholarship money that is multiple year, but also pairing them with a mentor, helping them get through college, not just into college. We've, in 2.5 years, put more than 1,000 more Oakland graduates into colleges with these Oakland Promise scholarships. But we're also giving babies that are born into poverty $500 college savings accounts at birth.
Wait, what?
$500 college savings accounts at birth.
Oh, my God!
And financial coaches for their parents. This whole thing of preparing everybody to take full advantage of the California economy is a long-term bet, but it is actually the thing I am most passionate about.
Now, Libby, I know January 1st, cannabis became legal in California. And cannabis is slated to be a billion-dollar gold mine. And many minority operators are feeling kind of left out of that process, seemingly can't afford to operate with the cost of doing business. Are there strides being made in that regard to help equity applicants cash in on this lucrative business that seems to be employing quite a few?
Well, Oakland has gotten a lot of national attention for our cannabis equity program. We have committed that every other permit we give out will be to an equity business person. Yeah! And what do I mean by that? Again, even in a beautiful, progressive place like Oakland, California, we have institutionalized racism. It is alive and well, even here.
Tragic.
So when we looked at who was getting arrested and charged on cannabis-related crimes prior to legalization, it was disproportionately African-American males,
Hold up.
to some extent Latino males,
Wait a minute.
and really concentrated in certain neighborhoods in our city.
Something ain't right.
And so we actually are giving preference to people who have had marijuana charges in the past or who live in these parts of our city that were disproportionately policed for marijuana violations. Again, we have created a revolving loan fund to help these businesses get off the ground. And if you are a non-equity applicant and you want to get to the front of the line, you have to sponsor or incubate an equity candidate who needs often help with real estate, the initial capitalization, particularly in an industry that is not banked and where you cannot get bank loans. And so that is how we have really creatively addressed this equity issue and allowed African Americans and other groups that were previously discriminated against have the first shot at taking advantage of this new economy.
We want to remind you to please like our Facebook page if you haven't already. When you join, you'll be able to receive weekly updated news and events, live video messages, and most importantly, you'll be able to interact with tons of people just like you. So go on that button on top of your Facebook page and give it a click, or interact with us on Instagram. Without each and every one of you, Tech This Out would not exist. We couldn't do it without you. Make sure to repost and share different things you see on our page. The more you share, the better. Be sure to watch previous shows on our YouTube channel, and please subscribe so that you can be notified when we post new content. We really want to connect and hear from you, so please don't hesitate to message us. And to find us online, please go to Tech This Out America on Facebook, Tech This Out on YouTube, Twitter, and all social media platforms. Get whole scope at techthisoutnews.com. We connect the streets.
Now, Libby, I know Oakland has played a significant role in hip-hop, and it's good to see that California pride. And I know Nick Cannon is bringing some more attention to the Bay Area by producing a new TV series called The Yay Area, and he's got E40 and Too Short involved. But I got to ask you this, Libby, who are your favorite hip-hop artists?
Well, listen, I'm an OG, right? I'm like, I am a 52-year-old woman.
Okay.
I graduated from Skyline High School in class of 83.
Okay.
So, when Steph Curry asked me, E40 or Too Short, I had to say Too Short because he's from my time, right?
What's my favorite word?
But, I do have some issues with some of his language choices.
Sure.
How he talks about women.
What's your profanity?
Me and Mr. Short might have a little conversation about that one of these days.
Okay.
Hopefully he's evolving,
Right.
But, I love E40. Mr. Fab does so many good things in our community.
They still feeling it.
G-Eazy is a new person out there that always represents from Oakland. And while you might not consider him a rapper, David Diggs, man, I think we are all in love with that man's talent.
Okay.
Pretty powerful Oaklander that is really representing his town beautifully.
It's funny you would say, I just saw G-Eazy in concert on Sunday, so he was really amazing. And the Bay Area has an incredible amount of talent across the board, and I love your city. It's interesting.
Oh man, do we not have like kind of this secret sauce?
Oh, yeah.
The inclusive diversity,
Yes.
the creative talent, that
Yes.
energy,
Yes.
and I feel like it comes not only from this fact that we are the most diverse city in America, but we've got those working class roots. We've got this kind of gritty authenticity that L.A., San Francisco, maybe even New York. It's just not as real as we keep it in Oakland.
Yeah, and the racial diversity, as it reflects in hip hop, in definitely Oakland, the Bay Area, I think it's just transcended the country and it's going global. So I love it. I know for the first time in hip hop, we have a bunch of female rappers who are now at the forefront of a male dominated industry, including Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Remy Ma, and Iggy. Do you listen to any of them?
A little bit. I got to tell you, I don't, spend a lot of time with my feet up, and my earbuds in. I get most of my music from my kids, and then shout out to Terrell Elliott, owner of my little gym that I love going to, Body Mechanics in the Laurel. So a lot of my rapping I listen to because of his selections at my gym. I will say he turned me on. I know it's not a woman, but J. Cole.
What the hell did you just say?
J. Cole. Turn it up.
No.
Turn it up.
I've really enjoyed listening to. So thank you, Terrell, for turning me on to J. Cole.
Like females in hip-hop now at the forefront, we're also witnessing more females at the forefront of political offices. What's your take on that? And why is it happening now in such a strong wave?
Because we are pissed off.
I'm so upset.
This Me Too movement, the offensiveness of Donald Trump being elected president of the United States.
Nobody has more respect for women than I do. Nobody.
I get mad when you lie to me.
Talk about being woke. Women are saying, oh, my God, if I am not at the table, I'm on the menu. So it has been really inspiring for me because I'm a little lonely here as a mayor. Roughly 20%, some people say even as low as 18% of American mayors are women. And yet, obviously, 50% of our populations are. So I'm excited now to have a female partner across the Bay in London Breed in San Francisco. But it is great. And again, shout out to Emerge California, Emerge America. It is a pro-choice democratic women training boot camp for women that are thinking about running for their first office. I think they are making a huge impact on not only the number of women who are seeking office, but the number who are winning their offices.
Speaking of women empowerment, of course, post your run-in with the president, what advice would you give Omarosa, who is currently embroiled in this war of words with the current president? And do you think that he used the N-word, in your opinion?
I have no doubt No doubt at all.
I am the least racist person.
Wrong.
I guess my advice to her, and I got to be honest, I struggle with this myself, but I don't want to fall into their trap. And so I try and criticize the behavior and the thought practice as opposed to the person. I don't want to even give him that much power by calling him out as an individual.